Hello everyone, welcome to 40ish Unfiltered. I'm Nicole Goodman.
And I'm Lauren Mishcon. This is the show where we dish the feedback on last week's episode. Every Tuesday we dive into your comments, your emails, your DMs and everything that's happening on social media about the latest 40ish dilemmas. And if you want more 40ish in your life, and who doesn't? Because doesn't everyone? You can follow and subscribe.
And also don't forget about our Apple Podcast subscription where you get early access, bonus episodes and everything ad-free.
Amazing. What's going on this week, Nicole Goodman? You now pull a whole, what is his name? Mark Wahlberg. And you just get up in the middle of the night, basically, don't you? It's your new thing.
We recorded yesterday and I was on my knees, wasn't I? Because I'd woken up at like
5:20.
5:15, I think it was.
Right.
And I was just on my knees and I just could not get back to sleep.
No.
And then last night, and then I was moaning about, if it's got a 5 in it, it's just obnoxious. It's just not a good time.
I agree.
Has to have at least a 6.
Yeah.
Well, last night or this morning, I woke up at 4:20.
It's getting worse.
4:20. And then I thought, wow, God, how much I would like to wake up with a 5 at the beginning. But now it's a 4.
This isn't good. Because you did have the phase where you every single morning you got up at 3:20 for a wee, but then you went back to sleep.
Straight back to sleep.
And then you were like, this is so weird because now it's 4:20. I'm like, it's not weird. It's because the clocks have gone forward. It's exactly the same time. You were like, oh yeah. But now you're not waking up for the wee and going back to sleep. You're waking up and you're staying awake.
I can't get back to sleep.
It's bad.
Apparently it's very menopausal.
Yes.
Very common and very menopausal. So basically, you're right. My midlife meltdown, you're right, is that I now have a new menopausal symptom. Who knew I could even find new ones?
I mean, you have really run the gamut.
Even the doctor said to me, my God, you're having a rough time of this, aren't you? I'm like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Not only am I having every symptom known, every single fucking symptom, I think there's over 80. I think I've literally had all of them.
Yeah. You haven't had the tinnitus, which is funny because that's one of the only ones I do have.
It's not one of the only ones you do have.
It's special though. It's niche.
It's not one of the only ones you do have. Are you
niche.
still in denial about the fact that you are symptomless? Because you're not.
Yeah, I am in
You're
denial.
not symptomless.
Yes, I am in denial. Yes. Although I think the tinnitus is hangover from COVID. I don't think it's perimenopause. I'm in denial about that.
What about your frozen shoulder?
That's gone now.
What about your bad mood? What about your telling someone to go fuck himself, or you wound down the window?
Oh, that might be my midlife meltdown, maybe.
I think
Shall I tell that story?
It's a great story because listeners, you tell me after this story whether or not Lauren is still symptomless.
I'm driving Josh home from school. We're passing through a residential area. There is an elderly lady, very elderly, and she has a shopper on wheels. You know, one of those little, what are they called? Those
shoppers. And
shoppers.
They're called shoppers.
Okay.
And also yesterday, you couldn't remember the name of it.
No, I don't. I've never known the name of it. It's not that I've forgotten. I don't know what they're called.
Symptomless.
No, I don't know what they're called.
You know, okay, because you're symptomless.
I don't own one.
So it's not brain fog.
No,
you don't own one yet. I'm actually surprised you don't own one.
Me
anyway,
too. If I did own one, it would be leopard print, by the way.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
Fuck yeah.
No, you cannot have a leopard print shopper. You cannot.
Why?
Because that would be a meltdown all in itself. You cannot.
Okay, so there was an elderly lady with a shopper and she was crossing the road and she was struggling terribly to get her shopper from the road up onto the pavement. The curb was really difficult for her. Meanwhile, there's some man who's all of 60 standing on the pavement just staring at her. And I'm at the traffic lights. I can't get out the car and help her, but he also could have taken maybe 2 or 3 steps forward, lifted her shopper for her, taken her by the elbow, helped her. And he just stood there and watched her struggle. And I was getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And eventually this poor lady did manage to hop it up on the curb and carry on walking. And I wound my window down and I screamed out the window at him, you know, you could have fucking helped her. And then I drove off. I was so cross about his lack of social awareness and general lack of kindness. What is that? I don't even think that is perimenopause. I just think that's being a horrible human being. But you're saying that 10 years ago I wouldn't have done that.
I'm saying a year ago you wouldn't have done that.
I would have just watched him and not cared.
I'm not suggesting you were wrong with getting upset about it, because obviously he was an arsehole and he was completely wrong to let her struggle like that. Obviously. There is no way you would have gotten yourself to such a point of crossness that you would have wound down your window and then basically dropped the F-bomb on him in front of your son. There's no way.
I felt like I taught Josh a good lesson, even if I dropped the F-bomb.
You
like, help people.
I taught him to be kind.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little hidden
I
in there.
taught him to be kind by verbally abusing someone out of my car window.
You actually, all of the above. And now
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the listeners, do we still think that Lauren is symptomless with her perimenopause? Because I'm going to go with no. Okay. It basically like every day you're like, because I just don't really have any symptoms. Okay.
You're having them all for me. You're having them all for me.
I'm not having them all for you. I'm just having them all for me because God's kind like that. But you are definitely having some of your own.
Someone has got to, be the experimenter in knowing what it's all about. And it's clearly God's chosen you. It's one of his people.
I actually do feel like that.
Maybe
do feel like that. I feel like the menopause was really, really rough on me because I was like meant to be like a bit of a voice for the menopause.
Well, here you are.
So that I can help like my peers and, bring
host a podcast on being 40-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's true.
I'm telling you.
Everything happens for a reason.
Anyway,
isn't it
just
wonderful?
thank God for my gynecologist. I know, you know what? Thank God for my gynecologist secretary. Thank God for her. That's all I can say. She is the most patient, kindest woman. I mean, she is practically, I might even invite her to my next birthday. That is how much I'm in touch with this woman.
I want to go to some feedback.
Okay.
Amy has written in. She says, ladies, I'm all over the Dosset box. I take 6 meds a day at 44 and I have already got a glam one to take the bloody things.
Glam one? Is it leopard print?
She hasn't said, but I'd like a photo of it, please, Amy. Also, please, in capital letters, consider a house coat for your merch collection. For those of us that want to don large earrings and drink martinis in the middle of the day, muchas gracias. Amy, firstly, I am embarrassed, ashamed and mortified that I didn't think of housecoat merch myself because what a glaring mistake. And secondly, I really feel like you and me could be friends. Housecoat, large earrings, martinis in the middle of the day.
Dosset box.
Dosset box. She is my person.
Glam Dosset box.
She might be my new best friend. I'm sorry, but she's ticking all
I'm
the
still
boxes.
your new best friend. Do you want to back up here a bit?
She's ticking all the boxes for me here.
You're right, because I won't do the...
You won't do it. You do the large earrings.
Yeah, but I won't do the house coat with the martini in the middle of the day.
No, you won't.
I wouldn't even do it at 8 o'clock at night.
You don't even need a Dosset box.
Well, I'm taking a lot of supplements at the moment.
I'm taking fucking 9 a day now.
Are you?
Yeah. It's embarrassing how much water I need to drink to swallow them.
You don't need that much water for 9.
For 9?
You're not taking them all in one go, are you?
Of course I am.
You chug 9 pills down in one go.
No, not all 9 in my mouth at the same time, but I'll do like 3.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah, 3, 6, 9.
I thought
like
you
3
were
at
like
a time.
shoving all of them in your mouth. And
oh, they're big. They're like horse pills. And what annoys me about taking them is...
No, we're taking the same ones.
I take the evening primrosol, which is bigger.
Oh, yeah, I don't take that.
But what annoys me is how much water I need to drink to swallow them because I don't like to drink the water and now I'm forced to in the morning with all these bloody pills.
You could just do it with your coffee.
No, I don't like that.
Why?
Weird. Oh, too hot.
Well, wait till it's cooled down.
Too cold.
I sometimes chug too cold. Just being a Karen. Is that on the menopausal list? Is it? Because I reckon that I've also suffered with that as well.
You can.
That was a real
that.
Karen moment. What you did in the car.
It wasn't.
It was
because I was fighting for social justice.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. You know what I mean?
It was a bit of a Karen.
And also, if I hadn't been at a traffic light, if I'd been parked or I'd seen her or I'd been on the pavement, I would have just gone over and helped her myself.
Well, obviously, most people would have gone over to help this poor woman, and I'm sure he learnt a lesson.
I'm sure he's
by
still
the
a
mad
dick.
menopausal woman that screamed out, and she's probably sitting there thinking, "My gosh, she's got a kid in the car."
I don't care what he's thinking because he was raised badly and behaves badly.
Not your kid.
Not my kid, the man. Dammy says, ladies, you are very, very funny.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. I was just listening to the poll about rhubarb compote. I am now married to a British man and he absolutely hates it. I hate hot drinks. And if I get a cold, compote is the only thing I drink. She drinks
Can't
it.
drink compote.
I use apple and pears.
I think you call that fruit
juice. I add a bit of sugar and 2 or 3 cloves and then I eat
Cloves?
Yeah. And then I eat the mushy fruit after. Isn't compote mushy fruit? I don't know what's going on here. Also, she says on Thursday, I just bought my first pill Dosset box. There's a trend.
When did we talk about Dosset boxes?
Last week. There's something
When
going
did we
on.
talk about it?
We're talking about like if we had merch, 40ish merch, what would the merch be? We were like, a Dosset box is an obvious choice.
I wouldn't have said that. You must have said that.
I definitely said it.
I would have said like a mug or something.
A mug. Surely at
Aprons.
least a water bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Come on now. A Stanley Cup. Come on
You
now.
know what? I'm feeling very tired because I woke up at 4:20.
I'm aware.
Did I mention that?
I'm aware.
4:20.
Yasmin, she is in New Zealand.
We have quite a few New Zealanders. How nice would it be to do a tour in New Zealand?
I'd love to go to New Zealand.
So would I.
It looks beautiful
It
there.
does.
I don't want to see Jackie from Married at First Sight Australia though.
Is she from New Zealand?
She sure is. That's why she says yip.
She seems to be all over our TikTok. Have you
She's
noticed that?
everywhere. And I sort of wanted to block her, but also I can't stop looking at her, but also I can't stand her. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Anyway, Yasmin says, hi ladies, I'm currently at work listening to the latest episode and watching you for the first time.
Oh, because we're on Spotify now on video.
I just saw I can.
You
Yep.
can.
I'm in middle age, she says, but it's not that you've only just seen it, Yasmin. It is that it is new.
Yes,
So you
it
haven't
is
missed
new.
it because you're middle aged. It actually is genuinely
And
new.
excuse me, I've taught myself to video edit. Thank you very much.
You are so cool.
And I'm getting much quicker at it now.
You are so cool.
Thank you. I am.
It's very young. It's a very young person thing to do.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It's knocked like at least 4 years off you. You know, in coolness. It has.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I've just made it up. Yasmin says, yes, I have headphones in, thank God. I've just got to the picky bits part where Nicole says you can go and fuck yourself and then forgets what she was going to say more than once. I couldn't help it. I snorted out loud. I was laughing so hard there was no way I could hide the fact that I was having a ball at my desk. I got some strange looks and laughter. I casually smiled and said, sorry, I'm just listening to a podcast. I've listened to every episode of both your podcasts and I love you both. Keep up the great work and all the laughs. Love, Yasmin.
Thank you, Yasmin.
Thanks,
I can't
Yasmin.
believe you listen to every single episode.
God, that's a
I don't
lot.
even think Lauren's done that.
That's a lot of content. My husband's only listened to like half of one episode in 6 years.
Oh, Adam doesn't listen to any of them. He got asked at a party the other night, oh, do you love her podcast? Do you listen to podcasts? He was like, I'm like, doesn't listen.
Ollie actually asked me the other day what the format of this show was. I was like, do you know, you
What,
could...
out of the blue?
Yeah, I was like, you know, you could... Well,
Listen.
I was writing it and he was like, I was like, you know, you could listen. He's like, what do you mean there are dilemmas? Like, that's the show? That's the show?
Oh my God. Yeah, but how much do you ask about his work?
I ask quite a lot. I mean, I don't want all the legal details, but I do ask.
I was at a party the other night and some guy was telling me about this new podcast. In fact, his wife told me, she said, oh, he's got a new podcast. Tell her about it. He's like, I'm not telling her about it. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I'm like, just tell me. He goes, oh, it's barely a podcast. Do me a favor. I'm not talking to you about it. I was like, just tell me about what the podcast is about. He said, no. I said, have you released episodes? Yes. How many episodes? 25. I said, okay, so you have a podcast. What's it about? He goes, it's about climate change and social change. And we interview people that are, having a huge impact on the world. And he starts giving me all these examples of all the people they've interviewed. And
Wow.
there's some woman in India that has basically changed the face of healthcare in India.
And are you feeling like more and
And
more embarrassed?
I was just dreading the question of, what's yours about?
Hey, what's yours?
And I said to him, oh, it's lighthearted. He goes, yeah, what's it about? I said, well, last week we spoke about rhubarb. But apparently we make people laugh. Anyway, and then I saw him because it was a whole weekend of parties. And I saw him at the next party and he said, oh, I listened. I said, did you? He's like,
God.
only for 10 minutes. He said, but you hadn't. I said, what are we talking about? He goes, oh, you hadn't really gotten into anything. I said, no, that's the show. That's the show.
We haven't got a guest on talking about how to solve climate change.
Or how to change the healthcare in India.
Spoiler alert.
It's mortifying.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
But
yeah,
we are
yeah,
tonight
Yeah.
up for 3 awards.
I know. They're not social justice awards, just to be clear. They're
They're comedy
comedy awards.
awards.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're comedy
Listen,
awards.
he couldn't go up for a comedy award.
He couldn't. You are right. I did tell him to go in for the Impact Award at the British Podcast
Yeah,
Awards.
that would be much more suited.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go in for the Impact Award. I don't think we'd win it.
What are we going to talk about? The jizz necklace. That's a good. That'll have an impact. Will have an impact.
The beautiful jizz necklace that you were presented with for your anniversary.
And I was editing that show, and then my daughter and my husband walked in the kitchen at that very point.
Oh no!
And then basically they were telling me about a video that Adam had sent to my daughter, and it was a really rude, stupid video. I can't even remember what it was about. And I said, Adam, I cannot believe you are sending our 16-year-old those videos. He goes, you're talking about jizz necklaces on your podcast.
You're talking about me making you a necklace of my own semen for our anniversary on your podcast, so shut up. Ellis has written in with a listener meltdown. I mean, I don't know if he meant it.
I love these listener. Oh, it's from a man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he meant it as a meltdown, but it reads to me as one.
Where did he write it in from?
I can't remember if he emailed it or he DM'd it. I think he emailed it into 40ish. Pretty sure. Here it is. I was watching clips. You have to bear with, okay? It's a bit of a convoluted story. I was watching clips of Sondheim's Company, a play about a man going through some stuff on his 35th birthday as he's questioning everything about his life.
I hate Sondheim. I know that's a very controversial thing to say, but I do.
Okay.
My daughter and I argue about it all the time.
Okay. I discovered this play when I had coincidentally just turned 35 and my life was in total upheaval. I just now am finally getting my bearings and beginning a second leg of my life. It's looking great all of a sudden, better than it's ever been for me.
Oh, that's great, Ellis.
I never would have believed it at age 35 because my life seemed over and I had to reevaluate everything. People think of a midlife crisis as being a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old, but statistically speaking, 35 is probably a pretty good guess for half my life, maybe a little early. Is 35 a good time for such a crisis? Is it inevitable? Will I probably have another major one in my life? Anyway, when was your midlife crisis? Have you completely avoided anything of the sort? A lot of questions,
that got to do with
Alice.
Sondheim?
Because the play that he was watching, Company, is about a 35-year-old questioning his life.
Okay.
And he resonated with it.
Okay.
I mean, that is a lot of questions, Ellis.
Start with the first one and we'll answer them together.
Well, firstly...
What was the first one?
Statistically speaking, 35 is probably a pretty good guess for half my life, maybe a little early.
That's
Definitely
not a question.
Too early.
That's not a question.
He put a question mark.
Okay, is a question.
It's too early,
Way
Ellis.
too early. You don't want to. You want to go later than 70.
I did look up average age of a man in the UK, 82.
Okay.
So yeah,
You've got 41. You've got 6 more years.
Too early, yes. Is 35 a good time for a crisis?
I don't know if there's ever a good time for a crisis.
There's no good time for a crisis.
You asked me yesterday if I thought you were having a crisis.
Midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm having one?
I think there is potential.
What fun.
Yeah, it could go either way. But being my most stable friend, you're actually not allowed.
It's also really off-brand for me.
That's why you're not allowed.
Okay. Is it inevitable, he asks?
No.
Well, I would say no for him, but also as a man, he's not going to go through menopause, is he? So
but you don't need to go through. You don't just go through a crisis when you go through the menopause.
You don't. But what I'm saying is, he's never going to have puberty backwards and massive hormonal shift happen in his life at around 50 because he's a man. So
but he can still have
of course
a midlife crisis.
Of course he can. But I'm saying menopause is inevitable, and with it comes change.
Yeah, oh, fucking hell, does it?
So he will avoid that. Will I probably have another major one in my life anyway? Who's to say, Ellis? We all could avoid. Who knows?
I think this is more of a dilemma.
I feel like it's a crisis in a question.
You know what? Yeah.
When was your midlife crisis, he asks? Well, I haven't had one so far. Am I about to have one? Maybe, potentially, Nicole says.
Yes.
Have you
there's
had
a
one?
lot. Yes.
You've had one.
God, yes.
Okay.
I was about 38. And
That's
it went
very
on
early.
till I was about 41.
Quite lengthy.
They are. They tend to be.
I
Takes a
didn't-
long time
I
to
didn't know you
get into
then.
it and then get out of it.
I didn't know you then.
We wouldn't have been friends.
I'm glad that I met you the other side of your midlife crisis.
I wasn't in my better self. I really wasn't.
Okay. I'm sorry, but also glad I met you the other side of that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't have been attracted to each other. Oh,
No.
you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Well, you might have been attracted to me, but
I might have done. That might have been part of my crisis.
It wasn't a lesbian crisis, just to be clear.
It wasn't a lesbian
No.
crisis.
Okay. Have you completely avoided anything of the sort? Well, yes, so far I have, but who's to say what the future may hold, Ellis? I could have one next week. I could have one tonight.
Oh, don't have one tonight.
Oh,
We're
no,
up for
we're
3 awards
at the
tonight.
awards show tonight. Okay, I
And we
won't
want to
have
come
one
out winners.
tonight.
Not losers, but winners.
Even if we lose, I won't have one tonight. I'll save it.
Don't have it if we win either.
No, I won't. I have no intention of having a midlife crisis tonight.
What? James, can I just say?
Yeah.
Maybe he's having a bit of a crisis because he walked in with some wayfarers on his face that are cameras. What the fuck? They're cameras. He goes, oh, they came in just in time for tonight. I'm like, why have you got cameras on your face?
I went really immediately dark with those. Like my mind
Yeah,
went
you did. You said, oh, you could be having sex with someone and not tell them that
and
you're
film
filming
them and they wouldn't
Bearing
know.
in mind, he has been married for many, many years.
I'm not
I don't
saying
think that's
he
what...
would. I'm saying he would. I'm
He
just saying
wouldn't. He
one,
wouldn't.
One could. A man could. Or a woman.
A woman could.
One could wear those glasses.
And he's like, well, everyone would know that they've got cameras in them. Like, only
No.
you would because you're into gadgets.
Can I just say, I would never know they had cameras in. It would never occur to me they had cameras in. I wouldn't even think about
And
a pair of Ray-Bans with cameras in.
Ray-Bans with cameras in.
Who even knew that existed until today?
How did he know they existed?
Because he knows tech
But how does
stuff.
he know?
He's got his finger in the pie of tech.
How did he know? How did that come up on his algorithm?
Probably. He might have been hoping, he might have been waiting for them to be invented. And then he started saying, can you hear this? Can you hear this?
Yeah.
It's like, what can you hear?
He's like spying on us
You
now.
can play music through it. You can ask it, hey, Meta. Oh, no, I mustn't start saying it because it'll be like the Hey Siri thing all over again. But you can say, hey, Meta, tell me
say
the
it.
tallest building in the world.
Yeah, but it didn't. He said it 3 times and it didn't. It's like, hey, Siri. It doesn't fucking work.
It does work.
It doesn't work. Hey, Siri.
No, stop. All our listeners will go mad.
Sorry.
That's what happened to them last time. I'm just saying I don't like this whole concept of the cameras in the glasses. It feels very spyware.
It is spyware.
It feels very like a Disney kids film set in the future where they all wear camera glasses.
James, how did you find out about the camera wayfarers? He also, can I just give
He's
you...
still wearing them.
Can I just get... He's still wearing them.
Did they hit your algorithm or have you been waiting for them to be invented or what's the deal?
How did you find out about them?
A friend of mine bought them. Are we still recording?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are still recording. A friend of his bought them.
Can
he
I just
said.
give you an update on James and Paddle? He still refuses to play with me.
I keep saying this to you. He's never going to play paddle with you. Get over it.
I don't know why I am
He
really...
doesn't want to merge the worlds. You're in his podcast world. Let him have his paddle world. Oh.
He said I could be in his paddle world.
Oh, you'll get
How
there.
am I going to know when I'm there?
Because I already know because of what you told me today.
Oh, I
Because I
see.
got that shot. Yeah, but I got the shot.
The first time ever.
Yeah.
Well done. I'm really impressed.
I'd only started doing it a week ago.
I mean,
Do you do them a lot, those shots? Oh, whatever,
that's
James.
about half the game.
Okay. James isn't ready to let you into paddle world
But
until you're
he told
very
me
good
I'm allowed
at
to play with his
paddle.
wife.
Yeah,
I'm like, but I want to play with you, James.
Yeah.
And I said, well, can the 4 of us play? He was like, no. I mean, he is literally like, it's like Mission Impossible.
That's okay. That's okay. It's
You know
something
what?
to aim
I don't know
towards.
why it's not okay, but it just isn't.
It's something to aim towards.
It's a goal.
It's something to strive for.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
goal.
Give you something to live
Can you
for.
imagine if we then play paddle and I whoop his ass? I would.
I don't want to come into the studio that day if that happens.
Do you know what? I actually don't even want to whip his ass.
You just want to play with him.
I do. I don't know why. It's because he won't let me.
Yeah, that's exactly why. It's like when you're not really that interested in a boy, but then when you find
Yeah.
out that he's not interested in
Yeah.
you, then suddenly actually you're quite
It's
interested.
exactly that.
Yeah. Or it's like when you've really, really, really been eyeing up this pair of shoes and then you realise that you don't actually really like them that much. You don't want them. But then you look at them again and they haven't got them in your size and then suddenly you're obsessed with having them.
That's actually happened to you recently with the loafers.
It did happen to me with the loafers, but that was just a sorry, sad tale in the end, wasn't it?
It was, because
they
you
went
had to take them
straight back. And now I saw them the other day when I was in M&S and I was like, oh, they're horrible.
Why are you always in M&S?
You're always in M&S. I am in there a lot. Maybe I work there part-time and I just don't tell you. I work there part-time, I just don't tell you.
No, you don't.
Can I tell you their online cyber crash hack thing has really affected my life?
Why? Because you had to change your password.
No, they haven't asked consumers to change their passwords, and this is another
They've
problem.
advised them to, though.
Oh, when I was listening on the bank holiday Monday to the news, they asked that very question. Should they be changing their passwords? And they were like, well, they haven't asked anyone yet.
So my cousin works in cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And most, like any sort of big crash that happens usually falls on his company.
It's not a crash, it's a hack.
So I said to him, what's happened with M&S?
Yes.
And he was like, they're not our client anymore. Thank God.
Yeah, I bet he's so relieved. But do you like the way the hackers have gone high, mid and lowbrow? They've hacked the Co-op, M&S and Harrods.
Yes.
So weird.
What's that about?
Low, medium, highbrow. That's what they've done. But I'll tell you why it's really affecting my life, because you know the memorial bench. Well, I found a lovely...
You've got to stop calling it the memorial bench. It's just a bench. It's just a garden bench.
The pre-memorial bench.
The garden bench.
The garden bench is
Yeah.
bare. I found a really nice bench cushion and some other cushions for it. They're on M&S. I can't order them because they've paused their online orders. It's really... Yes. For 2 weeks.
Right. Can I just say, I don't think I can listen to the bench anymore. Okay? Okay? Now the dressing of the bench and the carrying of the bench and the throwing it over the shoulder of the bench.
Listen, when I invite you for a nice cocktail.
And you know what? I'm going to sit on the bench and I'm going to be like, okay, it's a
nice
bench.
And I like the cushions that you finally managed to get after 18 weeks. You're going to be so happy.
Why am I going to be happy?
Because we're going to have a lovely chat on the bench.
You very rarely bore me. It is so rare. I'm going to say it. I am bored talking about the bench. I'm sorry. I know it makes... Oh, I feel bad now. I know I know it makes you happy, but I just don't care about your bench. I don't have any feelings about your bench, about the cushions on the bench.
I won't invite you. I'm not going to invite you.
The M&S cushions, and I don't care. It makes me feel old listening to you and this fucking bench. Okay, just stop it now.
Consider your invitation revoked. I'm going to invite my new friend Amy. She's going to come in a house coat
with a martini
branded, and I'm going to make her a martini. And Amy and I will enjoy the memorial bench. Amy, you're welcome anytime.
It's not a memorial bench.
Nicole's out. Amy, you are in there.
I can't with this bench.
That's it. You go and play paddle. Amy and I will enjoy life.
James won't play with me.
Who's winning the midlife meltdown this week? Ellis with his massive existential crisis. Me?
I mean,
or you?
I think you verbally abusing a stranger, even though he did deserve
it.
Yeah, but you can't verbally abuse strangers and drop the F-bomb on them. You just can't.
Apparently I did.
That is such a midlife meltdown. It is like the epitome. It's the quintessential midlife meltdown.
But I don't feel like it was a meltdown. I felt like it was the right thing to do.
Hence why it is the absolute epitome of the perimenopause.
Really?
You, my darling, are the winner. Sorry, Alice. We are going to be back on Thursday with a new main show of 40ish.
Yeah.
Please keep your emails and your feedback coming in. hello@40ish.co.uk, or you can DM us at Instagram at 40ish.podcast. We absolutely love hearing from you, and we'll be back on Thursday.
Bye-bye.